In this video, I want to discuss the technical aspects of a smart home, as well as sharing tips and tricks that I have picked up over the years when it comes to running an efficient and stable smart home. When it comes to the brains of a smart home, I am referring to 4 key areas: home hubs such as HomePod Mini or an Apple TV 4K, manufacturer bridges such as Philips Hue Bridge or Hive Hub, which connect devices to Apple Home and often provide additional features, smart home technologies such as Zigbee, Thread and Matter, which help devices communicate and work together, and finally, your internet connection, router and home network setup. Together these form a foundation of a reliable smart home. I won't be diving too deeply into the technical details, but instead focusing on the concepts and practical tips that can help you get the most out of your smart home. Home hubs specifically refer to an Apple device such as a HomePod Mini or an Apple TV 4K. In my case, I use an Apple TV 4K, and there is one simple reason. It is the only Ethernet enabled Apple Home Hub that acts as a Thread border router, but more on that later. So what is a home hub? Essentially, it's a device that enables the advanced features of Apple Home, including remote access, automations, HomeKit secure video, and Matter support. In simple terms, it allows you to control your smart home with the Home app, and it allows you to add Matter compatible devices directly into Apple Home. I mentioned previously that my Apple TV is my preferred home hub, but Apple Home will automatically choose a primary hub for you. A good tip for a stable smart home is to connect your Apple TV using Ethernet and set it as your preferred home hub. In my experience, a wired Apple TV provides the most stable and responsive Apple Home setup. Bridges help connect smart devices to platforms such as Apple Home. This is how many early smart home manufacturers were able to make their products work across different smart home ecosystems. Essentially, bridges can unlock additional features beyond those provided by a home hub, such as local control, improved reliability, reduced dependence on cloud services, and access to additional manufacturer-specific features. Philips Hue are perhaps one of the best known examples of a bridge-based smart home ecosystem, and they have recently released the Hue Bridge Pro, the next generation of the Hue Bridge, a change I am yet to incorporate for a few reasons. 1, I have not exceeded the device limit, and 2, if it isn't broken, don't fix it is a mantra I live by when it comes to a smart home. The native apps generally provide more control than Apple Home. This is particularly true for Hive, where the Hive app offers additional heating controls and settings that aren't available directly with an Apple Home. If you are familiar with smart homes and currently have a smart home, you almost certainly would have heard the terms Zigbee, Thread and Matter. These are some of the key technologies that allow smart home devices to communicate with each other. Zigbee and Thread are communication protocols that create a network for smart home devices to operate on. Matter is a smart home standard that sits on top of those networks and allows devices from different manufacturers to work together across platforms such as Apple Home, Google Home, and Amazon Alexa. In the simplest way of putting it, Zigbee and Thread define how devices talk to each other, while Matter helps devices from different manufacturers understand each other. This is important because Zigbee and Thread only define how devices communicate. Just because 2 devices use the same protocol doesn't necessarily mean they can work together. Matter helps solve this problem by providing a common standard that allows devices from different manufacturers to work together across platforms such as Apple Home. This is why Matter is considered such an important step forward for the future of smart homes. To help visualize how these technologies work, we'll start with Zigbee and follow command from the Home app all the way to the smart bulb. When you send a command from your Home app, the Home Hub will pick up your request. In my case, an Apple TV 4K. This then communicates with the Philips Hue Bridge, which is the Zigbee coordinator. It allows Hue Bridge to communicate that command to the bulb over the Zigbee network. From here, one of two paths can be followed. It either goes directly to the bulb, or it works its way through the Zigbee mesh network until it reaches the desired bulb. The Zigbee mesh network is also smart, and if a connection was ever lost, the mesh network is able to self-heal and create a new path for the device, ensuring your devices remain connected even if part of the network becomes unavailable. A thread network works very similar to a Zigbee network, using a self-healing mesh to improve reliability. As you'll see in this diagram, the overall concept is very similar, but thread removes the need for a dedicated bridge and instead uses a thread border router, such as my Apple TV 4K, to connect devices to Apple Home. In a typical thread network, mains powered devices act as router nodes, helping pass messages around the mesh, while battery powered devices are usually end devices that communicate through those router nodes. Another advantage of thread is that devices from different manufacturers can all participate in the same mesh network, and this is where Matter over Thread comes in. Matter over Thread allows devices from a wide variety of manufacturers to work together seamlessly, provided they support Matter. For example, an Aqara motion sensor can trigger an IKEA bulb, or an Eve energy plug can control a nanoleaf light. As long as the devices support Matter, they can work together regardless of manufacturer. The more Matter compatible devices you add to your thread network, the larger and more resilient that network can become. Matter is the smart home standard that defines how devices behave, while Thread is the transport network that carries messages between those devices. As broadband providers and internet speeds vary depending on where you live, I'll briefly run through the network setup that powers my smart home. I have Sky broadband with download speeds of up to 1 gigabits per second. Probably overkill for a household with 4 people, but the deal I got was too good to turn down. To help distribute the Wi-Fi signal, I have purchased the Eero 7 mesh system with 3 nodes. These work reliably in wireless backhaul and provide me with a stable connection throughout my home. With all that has been discussed, the real question is my smart home stable, stress-free, and does it work reliably? The honest answer is yes, with one small caveat. Occasionally issues do arise that are outside of your control, and even my control, no matter how well planned or equipped your smart home may be. How you deal with those issues can determine whether you continue enjoying your smart home or end up wanting to throw everything in the bin. A bit of research before installing new hardware and software can allow you to prepare for issues down the road, and a bit of knowledge on troubleshooting will always come in handy. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video useful, please consider liking the video, leaving a comment and subscribing to the channel. And remember, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I'll catch you in the next one.